I waited in silence, hidden in the shadows, eyes locked on the house where everything had unraveled. When he finally emerged, I stepped forward without hesitation. He noticed me, slowed his stride, and said with an easy grin, "Hey, I think I've seen you before." I met his gaze, unblinking. "Yeah, we've crossed paths." His smile wavered. "I'm the husband of the woman you've just been spending your evening with." It took a moment, but the weight of my words crashed over him. His cocky expression dissolved, replaced by a flicker of panic. I didn't give him time to speak. My fist flew with every ounce of betrayal I'd swallowed, landing squarely against his jaw. He hit the hood of his sleek black Mercedes, loud and hard. The car screamed, its alarm sliced into the night air, but I barely heard it. My ears were tuned to something deeper, the sound of trust breaking, the silence that follows the end of something sacred. The car was still there when I pulled up earlier, jet black with polished custom rims, a vanity plate that reeked of arrogance. The kind of car a man like him would drive, someone who thought consequences were for other people. I parked a bit down the street, watching from a distance. The house stood still. No noise, no movement. Just that one bedroom light upstairs, flickering once, then burning steadily. My knuckles were already clenched. This wasn't about rage. It was about clarity. Truth. Closure. He walked out like he didn't have a care in the world. Head held high, jacket draped over one shoulder, whistling as if he hadn't just stepped out of a married woman's bed. He looked exactly how I expected him to, smug, polished, untouchable. As I approached him, he eyed me, curious but not yet concerned. "Hey," he said, trying to place my face. "I think I know you." I stopped a few feet from him. "You do." That's when I told him who I was. And that's when everything changed. After the punch, he scrambled to recover, slipping across the hood, trying to steady himself. Blood ran from his mouth. Fitting, I thought. It suited him. Matched the damage he left in my life. He tried to put his hands up in surrender, still attempting that smirk. "Man, I didn't know," she said. "Don't." I cut him off sharply. "Don't stand here and lie." He looked around, desperate, hoping someone might witness this, might rescue him. But there was no one, just me, him, and the truth hanging between us like thunder before lightning. "You thought you could sneak into my life and just walk away without a scratch?" My voice was even, controlled. I wasn't screaming. I wanted him to hear every single word. He shook his head, babbling about how he didn't mean any harm. But that's the thing. Leeches always cry when they're cornered. I grabbed his jacket, yanked him close until our faces were nearly touching. "You didn't just sleep with her," I whispered. "You laughed at me. You disrespected me. You turned me into a damn joke." His lips parted, maybe to apologize, maybe to beg, but I slammed him back down on the hood. Not to kill, just enough to remind him that real life hits harder than secrets ever could. I leaned down, so my words cut through the blaring alarm. Low, steady, lethal. "You're not walking away from this clean. You're losing everything." He blinked, confused, struggling to keep up. So I laid it all out for him. His wife, yes, he had one too, would be receiving a little gift. A full folder of photos and videos. Proof. No doubts. His boss, getting an anonymous tip that would end his little side gig at work. And his group of friends, the ones who thought he was squeaky clean, about to see who he really was. As for my wife, her chapter in my life was already closed. She was locked out, both from the house and from every bank account we once shared. She gambled and lost. There are no raised voices, no chaos, just precision, just consequence. He sagged against the hood, coughing, trying to gather what little dignity he had left. It was pitiful. The same man who strolled into my world without hesitation now wheezed like a cornered animal. I pulled out a folder from inside my jacket, thick with evidence. Photos, text logs, hotel receipts bearing his name, even the key card logs from the hotel he thought was discreet. I dropped it onto his chest. "Here's your life," I said flatly. Hope it was worth it. "I told you," wrapped with a bow, ready for delivery. The moment I said it, his face drained of all color. He knew this wasn't just about a punch in the dark or a bruised ego in a parking lot. This was the beginning of his unraveling. In every corner of his life where he thought he held power. The first package was overnight to his wife. Photos, timestamp hotel records, and all. The second went to the internal affairs department at his company, perfectly timed with their mid-year review cycle. A third, hand-delivered anonymously, to the country club where he loved to play the part of a respectable board member. You could practically hear the seams of his reputation splitting under the weight. I didn't need to throw another punch. The truth was doing all the damage I needed. He dropped to his knees, stammering, trying to piece together an apology, a plea, some bargain he thought might buy him mercy. I bent close, voice level and cutting. The next time you think about stepping into another man's marriage, remember tonight. You got lucky. You only lost your status. You came closer than you know to losing a lot more. Then I left him there, battered, bloodied, trembling against the cold steel of his luxury car. The same car he once drove with pride now looked like a monument to his downfall. But he wasn't the only one who had a reckoning coming. The real betrayal? It didn't wear cologne or walk with swagger. It wore a familiar smile and whispered, "I love you," while burying a knife in my back. She thought she could run home when the thrill faded, cry about stress, loneliness, a rough patch. Like that excuse it. She was wrong. Before she could even blink, our accounts were frozen. I had the locks changed the same day. Filed for divorce the morning after, evidence airtight. Her secret flings weren't secret anymore. Her family received a discreet envelope. Images, receipts, messages. No dramatic letter, just cold, hard facts. Her friends? Same treatment. Her job, the one where she liked to brag about ethics and professionalism, got a personalized email with attachments that told a real story. She didn't just lose a husband. She lost the spotless image she had spent years curating. Then came the moment she showed up at my new place. No foundation to hide behind, eyes swollen from crying, hair unkempt. She knocked for what felt like forever. I watched her from behind curtain, quiet. Then I opened the door, barely. She stared at me with trembling lips. "Why?" I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "You made a decision," I said. "You picked him. You picked betrayal." "I made a mistake," she cried, tears pouring now. I let out a cold laugh. "No, a mistake is tripping on the stairs. What you did was deliberate." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Not enough," I replied. Slowly closing the door, she broke down on the other side of it. Some bells can't be unrung. Some acts don't get a second chance. No yelling, no screaming, just silence where love used to live. I didn't patch myself back together. I became someone new. I didn't simply heal. I transformed. Pain didn't weaken me. It forged me. They thought their betrayal would leave me broken. Instead, it lit the spark that burned away every weakness I had left. I sold a house, the one now haunted by silence and false promises. I moved to a new city. Found a career I actually cared about. Met people who didn't know my past and didn't need to. But I never forgot. Not because I couldn't let go, but because remembering protected me from ever letting parasites like them get close again. I heard what happened to him. Word spread quickly. His name became poison. Fired. Divorced. Shunned. He ended up selling cars in some backwater town. A shadow of who he used to pretend to be. Bitter. Broke. Alone. She wasn't far behind. Couch hopping. Avoided by her own family. Ghosted by the friends who once toasted to her success. That perfect social media life? Gone. Turns out when your whole identity depends on appearances, there's nothing left when the mask slips. And me? I didn't chase joy, I built it. Slowly. Deliberately. Surrounded myself with loyalty, honesty, peace. I created. I traveled. I grew. And every night, I slept with a clear conscience, because I owed forgiveness to no one who set fire to my world. The fire didn't consume me. It turned me into the storm they never saw coming. Was it justice? Or was it vengeance? Tell us what you think in the comments. If you love real, raw revenge stories that hit hard and linger long, don't just scroll. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for following Lauren's story, where every shadow has a source and every betrayal leaves an echo.